July 2000. A church retreat in São Paulo. An 18-year-old dives into a swimming pool and hits the bottom. A fractured vertebra. Doctors warn he may never walk normally again. Never mind playing professional football. But this is not where his story ends. This is where it truly begins, because that boy would go on to become the best footballer on the planet. A World Cup champion, a Champions League winner, a Ballon d'Or holder. This is the story of Ricardo Izexon dos Santos Leite. The world would come to know him by one name: Kaká. Ricardo Izexon dos Santos Leite was born on April 22, 1982, in Brasília, Brazil. Raised in a middle-class, devoutly Christian family, he moved to São Paulo as a child, where his talent on the ball became impossible to ignore. He was signed into São Paulo FC's youth academy, a golden pipeline that produced Brazilian legends. But in 2000, everything nearly stopped. After the pool accident left him with a fractured vertebra, he spent months in recovery, uncertain if he would ever run again, let alone play football. He has said his recovery felt like nothing short of a miracle. He returned to training with a new sense of purpose and a faith that would define him for the rest of his life. In 2001, Kaká made his professional debut for São Paulo FC. Within his first season, he was already a starter, quick feet, sharp vision, and a calm composure far beyond his years. He helped São Paulo lift the Torneio Rio-São Paulo title, and his performances quickly caught the attention of scouts across the Atlantic. In 2002, still only 20 years old, he was named to Brazil's World Cup squad. A stunning achievement for a player who, just 2 years earlier, wasn't sure he'd walk normally again. Brazil went on to win the tournament. Though his role was limited on the pitch, he had a World Cup winner's medal, and Europe's biggest clubs were now watching his every move. One club in Italy was about to make him an offer that would change everything. In 2003, AC Milan signed Kaká for around €8.5 million, a fee that would soon look like a bargain. He made an instant impact, dazzling fans with his pace, elegance, and eye for goal. Wearing the number 22 shirt, he became the heartbeat of a Milan side stacked with legends. In 2004, he helped Milan win the Serie A title, but it was in Europe where he truly announced himself. His dribbling, his bursts through midfield, his ability to carry the ball at speed past entire teams. It was a style the footballing world hadn't quite seen before. By 2007, he was arguably the best footballer alive. And that year, everything would come together on the grandest stage in club football. May 2007, Athens. AC Milan faced Liverpool in the Champions League final, a rematch of the infamous 2005 Miracle of Istanbul. This time, Milan would not be denied. They won 2-1, and Kaká had been instrumental throughout the campaign, including a stunning solo goal against Manchester United in the semi-final that is still remembered as one of the greatest individual moments in Champions League history. Months later, in December 2007, Kaká was awarded the Ballon d'Or and named FIFA World Player of the Year. He beat out Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi in a vote that crowned him the undisputed best player on the planet. He accepted the award with humility, thanking his faith, his family, and the journey that almost never happened. From a hospital bed in 2000 to the top of world football in 2007, it was, by any measure, one of the most remarkable turnarounds in sports history. But football has a way of testing even its greatest champions. In the summer of 2009, Real Madrid made a stunning move, signing Kaká for a reported €65 million, at the time one of the largest transfer fees in football history. It was the start of Florentino Perez's second wave of Galacticos, a squad soon to include Cristiano Ronaldo. Kaká's unveiling at the Santiago Bernabeu drew tens of thousands of fans, a hero's welcome befitting the reigning Ballon d'Or winner. Expectations were sky high, but almost immediately, his body began to betray him. Recurring injuries, hamstring problems, and eventually a serious knee issue that required surgery slowed the electric pace that once defined him. He still contributed, winning the Copa del Rey in 2011 and La Liga in 2012. But the version of Kaká that once tore apart Europe's best defenses was becoming harder to find. The question on everyone's mind: could he ever get back to that level again? In 2013, Kaká returned to AC Milan on loan, a bittersweet homecoming for a player trying to recapture old magic. Flashes of brilliance appeared, but the peak years were behind him. In 2014, he made a groundbreaking decision, joining Orlando City as the club's first ever signing, ahead of its entry into Major League Soccer. It wasn't the glamour of Milan or Madrid, but it mattered deeply. Kaká became the face of MLS's growing global ambitions, inspiring a new generation of American soccer fans. He played through more injuries, but he also played with joy, mentoring younger teammates and representing the sport with the same grace that had always defined him. In 2017, at age 35, Kaká announced his retirement from professional football. It wasn't a fairy tale ending on the pitch, but it was a career built on something more lasting: humility, faith, and an unwavering love for the game, even after it had tested him again and again. Today, Kaká is remembered not just for his goals or his trophies, but for the way he played the game, with elegance, humility, and joy. He is one of only a handful of players to win a World Cup, a Champions League title, and the Ballon d'Or. He was known for his sportsmanship, his fair play, and a faith he never hid, famously lifting his jersey after big goals to reveal a message: "I belong to Jesus." Younger fans may know him as a pioneer of MLS or a devoted ambassador for the sport.
This is fun!
Older fans remember the years when he was, without question, the best player on the planet. But above all, his story reminds us that greatness isn't only measured in trophies, it's measured in the journey. A boy who nearly lost the game he loved in a swimming pool accident that could have ended everything instead became one of the greatest of his generation. That is why, whenever people speak of football's most inspiring stories, one name always returns: Kaká.